Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to have different headers on each page of your document. There are several different options with headers. So firstly, we're just going to show you how to insert the normal header, and then I'll go ahead and show you all the different options. Today I'm using Office 365, so if you do need to subscribe or upgrade, there is a link in the description below. So we'll just go ahead and select our headers and we'll just type in header 1. And as you can see, we've got our headers all exactly the same. At the same time, once we've highlighted our headers, we have this tab that appears in the top here called header and footer, and this will give you a number of options for your headers and footers. But there are these two options here. So the first one is different first page. So if you click on this icon box here, you'll see that your first page header disappears, allowing you to simply type in an alternative header to the rest. And if you click off, this is what we have: main header, and then the rest of your document, your header will be identical. If you don't want that option, you may want another option, which will be to simply show a different header for odd and even pages if you're going to make a booklet or a book. So your header now, once we've checked this icon here, your header will be identical on all your odd pages. And if we just type even pages here, oops, and then double click off, you can see that your even page is the same. And if we had another page after this, it would say even pages. Okay, let's just go back. Now, the more difficult part is to have different headers on each page. There is a way to do it, but I would either recommend that you do it at the very beginning of starting your document or at the very end. Trying to do it in the middle of formatting your document is quite challenging, and I'll show you why. What we've got to do is we've got to work in sections. So the Word document has to be split into sections to indicate the different headers. So for example, I'm going to go down to the bottom of page 1 because I want to change the header of page 2. In here, I'm simply going to go up to the menu at the top here, click Insert, then go to Break, and then Section Break. Now, at the moment you can't see anything, but if I go to the Home tab and click on this formatting icon here, you can see that there's this double line here, which indicates a section break. If you then double click on your headers, you'll see that now we're working in sections, section 1, section 2. And we're also working in continuous sections. And this is linked to the previous section, so the headers will be the same. To unlink these sections, we will have to go up to this icon here, which is under the header and footer tab, click the link to previous, and you can see that that tab there disappears. What that then allows me to do is to simply change the header on the following section, and then you can see that my first page is header 1, my second page is header 2, and so on and so forth. But you needn't think about this in pages because it is actually working in sections. So this is actually the header for section 2, not page 2. And I'll show you why that is. If I go down to the bottom of my first page, and let's say, for example, I move this text by hitting the space bar, what you'll see is as the text moves, and press the return button, as the text moves down the document, it will actually split the section completely from the next section, and the next section will start on the next page. So if you wanted this text to follow on from this text, you can't because you've inserted a section break. And what you also notice is the header has changed on the second page because this is all part of the first section. And this is now the second section, which is header 2. If we then just zoom out a little bit more, we can see section 1 is header 1, section 2 is header 2. To further demonstrate this, if we go down to the bottom of page 3, and again we insert a break, a section break, and then we unlink these two headers because there's now section 3 here. This is section 1, section 2, and section 3 because it's after the section break. So now what we need to do is click on this header because we want to change this header here. Click the link to previous and the little tab will disappear. This will allow me to change that header for this page or this section. So as you can see now, the headers are completely different on each page, but it's actually each section that they're different for. So if I then go back and I move my text back again to the previous page, you can see that my headers are completely different, header 1, header 2, header 3 on these pages, but of course you've got to bear in mind that they are actually different sections. So that's why it's a little bit easier to do this at the beginning when you format your document at the beginning, or at the end when you formatted everything and you simply want to change the headers at the end of all your formatting and your typing. Okay, so just to be clear then, you can do exactly the same with your footer sections as well. And you can unlink them so that you can change the footers, but at the moment they're linked, and you can tell they're linked because they have this tab here on the footer. So if I was just to simply insert some text, you'd see that my footers are all identical because they're linked. But again, you can go and do exactly the same as you need to if you wanted to change the different pages or sections. But it's really important to bear in mind that the headers will not work in pages, they will work in sections. It's a little bit complicated and I wish it were easier, but unfortunately it's not. So I hope that's helped you today with your headers and footers. If it has, please subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to leave them in the section below, and have a great day.